Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Okay, so Tutor Dayan here at your service. Welcome to Learning Channel. Okay, and for today's video, I'm just going to discuss about conjunctions, types of conjunction, and its rules. Okay, but before that, if you are into learning, okay, you want to learn more in English, okay, make sure that you have clicked the subscribe button and the bell all so that YouTube will notify you if ever that I have my new uploads about learning, okay? And let me share my screen to you so that we can start our discussion. Okay, just a moment. Okay, here we're going to define first a conjunction. What is a conjunction? Okay, so a conjunction is a word that is used to connect words, phrases, and clauses. Okay, so there are many conjunctions in the English language, but some common ones include and, or, but, because, for, if, and when. Okay, these are the common conjunctions. Okay, so make sure that you have understand the word conjunction. It is used to connect. Okay, so now there are three basic types of conjunctions, and they are first, coordinating, second, subordinating, and correlative. Okay, so now here we're going to read this example. Okay, this one, because the pop star caught a terrible cold, her upcoming performances in Boston and Chicago were indefinitely postponed. The tour organizers provided neither rescheduled dates nor refunds for the tickets, causing much discontent among the fans. Okay, so here, as you can see, the coordinating is in green, subordinating is in blue, and correlative is in violet. Okay, so now we have started the sentence with the subordinating because. Okay, so and coordinating and neither nor is a correlative one. Okay, so now we're going to dive deeper so that we can understand what are these types. Okay, so we're going to start with coordinating conjunctions. Okay, so what is a coordinating conjunctions? Okay, so here it is used to connect items that are grammatically equal. Okay, so here two words, two phrases, or two independent clauses. Okay, take note, coordinating conjunctions are used to connect items that are grammatically equal, okay, such as two words, two phrases, and two independent clauses. Okay, here, there are seven coordinating conjunctions in English. And you can remember them using the mnemonic device, fanboys. And fanboys stands for F for A and, okay, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. Okay, so the short form for that is fanboys. Okay, remember for and nor, but, or, yet so. Okay, coordinating conjunctions. A conjunction of this type is placed between the items and it links together. Okay, so here, for the words, coordinating conjunctions can join two nouns, verbs, adjectives, or other types of words. Okay, we have here examples. The data was gathered through questionnaires and interviews. Okay, the two words here are questionnaires, interviews, and it is joined by and, which is a coordinating conjunction. Okay, so here another example. I don't like to run or swim. Okay, so run, swim, two words, and we join them with coordinating conjunction or. He was clever but lazy. Okay, but lazy. Okay, for the phrases. They can also join different types of phrases. Okay, so here the dog wagged his tail and panted excitedly. Okay, and okay, the two words here okay, wagged his tail and panted excitedly. Okay, so here the results were undeniably intriguing, yet ultimately inconclusive. Okay, so here, third, she usually studies in the library or at a cafe. Okay, so examples for phrases. Now let's move on to independent clauses. A clause is a group of words that contains at least a subject and a verb. Okay, so remember, a clause is a group of words that contains at least a subject and a verb. An independent clause can stand on its own as a full sentence. Independent can stand on its own as a full sentence, expressing a complete thought. Okay, remember that. Here, example. Today, Jane Austen is one of the most widely read English novelists, but she achieved little fame during her lifetime. In the sentence above, the coordinating conjunction but creates a relationship between two independent clauses. Okay, so this one is one independent clause, and this one also is another independent clause, meaning they can stand alone as a sentence and it expresses complete thought. Okay, so here, therefore, you place a comma before but. Notice that the two clauses also work as sentences on its own. Example here, today, Jane Austen is one of the most widely read English novelists. A sentence ends with a period. Okay, so another sentence here, she achieved little fame during her lifetime. Okay, so after a period, it should be a capital letter. Okay, she. Okay, S is a capital letter. Okay, so the two independent clauses here makes as two sentences as well. Okay, so now here, punctuating coordinating conjunctions, how to punctuate them. Okay, so when joining two words or phrases with a coordinating conjunction, do not use a comma. This one here. Okay, so here, data was gathered through questionnaires. Okay, you can see here, comma and interviews. Okay, she usually studies in the library, comma, or at a cafe. These are wrong, okay? So the correction for that is data was gathered through questionnaires and interviews, no comma, okay? Since we used a coordinating conjunction and. Okay, for the second one, she usually studies in the library or at a cafe, okay? No comma. Okay, in these examples, the conjunction join two words or phrases that are connected to a single verb, gathered and studies. Okay, you should not place a comma before and. Okay, so here, when joining two independent clauses, however, use a comma before the conjunction. Okay, so if you are going to join two independent clauses, you are going to use a comma before. Okay, so here, the correct usage here, okay, comma error, comma error. Okay, here, data was gathered through questionnaires and selected respondents participated in interviews. Okay, so here, she usually studies in the library, but when it is too busy, she goes to a cafe. The correction for that is data was gathered through questionnaires. Okay, there should be a comma and selected respondents participated in interviews. Okay, so since we are joining two independent clauses, see, independent clauses, these can be a sentence as well, and it expresses complete thought. Okay, so here, she usually studies in the library, comma, but when it is too busy, she goes to a cafe, which is correct. Okay, so now here, on these examples, the clauses before and after the conjunction could both stand as full sentences on their own, so a comma is required. Okay, so now let's move on to subordinating conjunction. What is a subordinating conjunction? This type of conjunction includes words like because, if, although, since, until, and while. A subordinating conjunction is used to introduce a dependent clause. Okay, used to introduce a dependent clause. In contrast to an independent clause, a dependent clause is also known as a subordinate clause. Subordinate clause, dependent clause, okay? So it's a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. A dependent clause contains a subject and a verb but cannot stand as a complete sentence on its own. Cannot stand by its own, okay? A dependent clause that does not express a complete idea. So it must always be attached to an independent clause. Since it doesn't express a complete idea, so it cannot stand alone. So it needs to be attached to an independent clause. Okay, so example here we have, because I woke up late this morning, period. So it's wrong. I went to school without eating breakfast. Okay, so the correct one, we could write like this. Because I woke up late this morning, comma. I went to school without eating breakfast. Okay, so here we could also write this way. I went to school without eating breakfast because I woke up late this morning. Okay, so now let's move on to this one. I woke up late this morning is an independent clause, but a subordinated conjunction because turns it into a dependent clause. Because I woke up late this morning does not finish a complete thought. It must be joined to an independent clause to form a grammatically correct sentence. Okay, so here, it must be joined to an independent clause to form a grammatically correct sentence. The subordinating conjunction defines the relationship between the clauses. Okay, so the table below shows some common subordinating conjunctions and the relationship they express. But note that these is not a complete list. Okay, this is just an overview example. Okay, so we have here relationship, common subordinating conjunctions. Okay, for cause and effect, we can use because, since, as. Okay, cause and effect relationship. There is a cause and there is an effect. Okay, with time, we could use when, before, after, once, until, whenever, since, while. Okay, for the place, we could use where, wherever. Okay, for condition, if, unless, in case. For contrast, we could use although, though, whereas. Okay, so now let's move on to punctuating subordinating conjunctions. Okay, for the punctuations, when a subordinating conjunction follows an independent clause, a comma is often not necessary. Okay, in general, when the dependent clause contains essential information about the independent clause, don't use a comma. Okay, so now here, for the common error, okay, we're going to evaluate the sentence here. She will receive a major bonus, comma, if she succeeds in closing the corporate partnership deal. Okay, so here we have John's friend snuck into his apartment to set up a surprise party, comma, while he was at work. Okay, and for the correction, for this one, here, she will receive a major bonus if she succeeds in closing the corporate partnership deal. Okay, so no comma, we use the subordinating conjunction. Okay, if. And this one, John's friends snuck into his apartment to set up a surprise party while he was at work. Okay, so now here, however, when the subordinating conjunction comes at the beginning of the sentence, use a comma at the end of the dependent clause. Okay, if it started in the beginning of the sentence, we're going to use a comma. This one. If she succeeds in closing the corporate partnership deal, okay, comma, she will receive a major bonus. Okay, so while John was at work, comma, his friends snuck into his apartment to set up a surprise party. Okay? But if you're going to use this one, it is wrong. Okay, so now here, let's move on to correlative conjunction. What is a correlative conjunctions? Okay, this type of conjunction always comes in a pair. Okay, when we say pair, there is a partner. Okay, and it's used to join grammatically equal elements. Okay, in a sentence. Common pairs include either or, neither nor, not only, but also, and both, and. In most cases, no comma should be used between the two elements. Okay, there is no comma. Okay, so for this one example, we use as correlative conjunction not only but also. Okay, here, correlative conjunction must use a parallel structure. When we say parallel structure, the idea is the same. It doesn't contradict, okay, from start to finish, which means the two elements should take the same grammatical form. Okay, so here, example, she planned to collect data by either using an online survey or phone interviews. Okay, this one expresses a parallel structure. She planned to collect data by either using an online survey or conducting phone interviews. Okay, so here for our review, types of conjunctions, we have coordinating, subordinating, and correlative. Okay, and you know its rules, it's discussed. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have your thoughts, comment down. I appreciate you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so that you'll be updated with my next upload. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. I hope you learned something. Okay, so here I'm going to see you on my next upload. Have a great day and goodbye.